Hello and welcome back to my living room. We are back for video number 3 of 3. 3 of 3 on the documentation for the 1978 Mercedes Benz 450 SLC Euro spec car, serial number 9246. This time we are going to tackle the bank information, the bond documentation we got, the documentation from the EPA, documentation from the Department of Transportation, and documentation from the importer that did the U.S. conversion to the car. I'm not going to go through all of it because a lot of these are like 20-page reports. So, and you'll notice here too as well, I left the address in for the first U.S. owner, which correlates to, in the first video, all the addresses that show up on that documentation. So yeah, let's dive into this here. So the first thing we got is the bond info that the first U.S. importer needed to get, and it's got the envelope on there. I got to show you the front side because it's got his name on it. Didn't want to take the time because I blocked off his name in so many of these documents. It's ridiculous. Enough about that. Here's the bank information from July 18th of 1983, where they applied for the loan at Marquette Bank, and that's the actual, there's a contract there for $17,000. And then dated August 22nd of 1983, which I believe is the date that the car actually landed in the U.S. at Auto House, Auto House Importers, the people who did the conversion. And that corresponds with the information in the journal as well. And a lot of the names and dates that show up on these documents correspond to the journal that the first U.S. importer kept as well. So this is 27 pages worth of information on all the stuff they had to do on the car per the FMVSS regulations set forth by the U.S. Department of Transportation. And then moving on to, this one is November 14th of 1983. And he has that listed there as a master. And this sheet shows up in a lot of the other documents too, but this is the original. You can see again, dated November 14th of 1983. And that goes there. And then here from the Department of Transportation, you can see, and this one is dated 1/31 of 1984. And that's the information that the U.S. Department was looking for. And then they gave him, again, I believe this is the FMVSS requirements here, and then this form to fill out, which this one is double-sided. There's information on both sides, and then the regulations are there. So I believe that form needed to be filled out by the company doing the import, which was Auto House. And then we'll get to those here next. And then this was a list of photos that needed to be taken to fulfill the requirements as well. And that one is dated 2/10 of 84. And then we'll move on to March 29th of 1984. And this is from Auto House Imports, the place that did the U.S. conversion. And there's actually 2 reports in here. One has, there's 2 pages here about information, photos that were needed, that were required. And then here are the actual photos that they took. And they're terrible Polaroids, and how they got past. Well, it was the technology of the time, I guess. But yeah, you can see the camera is in focus and they are that fuzzy. But that was one form that was in there, and then this again is from the U.S. Department of Transportation, and it's 19 pages total, and 11 of those consist of the FMVSS requirements being filled out, but this is part of them as well. And you can see they're actually filled out here as to what Auto House did. So that goes all the way through here, and then this is their own checklist, and it has the vehicle VIN number on it and the first importer's name as well on every page of what they did. And then there's even some in the back here. Oh, look at that, we're already at 6 minutes. Sorry, these videos are getting so long. They did some electrical stuff to it as well, and these are the diagrams for it. And these are copies of the Polaroids that the U.S. Department of Transportation required as well. So yeah, there's that. And then lastly, we have this documentation from the Department of Transportation as well. This is part of it, and I believe there's one from the Pollution Control Agency connected on here as well. There's one from the Department of the Treasury. And it's crazy that all the information on this car, everything, even down to the banknote, there is no odometer reading on it at all. When they imported the car, there was no odometer reading, but then when you go over to the title here from 1983, they have the mileage listed as 43,450. So, but I just found that shocking that they brought a car into the country and nobody cared about the mileage. Yeah, so this is from Auto House, them telling the seller everything they did and all the charges for it. And then this is from the Environmental Protection Agency. This is the final documentation dated November 10th, 1983. Well, this one was from previous, but this was the final packet sent to him, and him being the first U.S. importer, as to the car is cleared and ready to go, and there's all the proof. So that's it. And then this is the U.S. He must have got this when they imported the car, because it's all in English, of course. And this, I believe, was supposed to be stuck in the car, and he never put it in the car. And then this is like a backup VIN as well, which matches the manufacture date VIN that goes here. I just don't think they put it in the car because they used the same VIN that was actually on the car in Germany. They didn't change the VIN. So there's that. And then this VIN tag is filled out, and they did put one of these in the door jamb, but they must have just given him a spare. I don't know why they did, but this all goes with the sale. So that's it. There is all of the proof that this guy, the first U.S. owner, imported it back in 1983 and has owned it ever since. So I am very hopeful that these videos help. I am super sorry it went so long, but yeah. At the end of the day, I just say thanks for watching.